So we are exploring the nature of faith this month, and today's topic is, when are you due? When are you due? And yes, I did go there because that's what we think of. We think of pregnant women and asking the question, when are you due? When's the baby coming? Of course, the worst possible thing is the woman isn't pregnant and you're asking, when are you due? And it comes from our journal that we're using for the year, the 365 Science of Mind. And I'd just like to read you 2 sentences from today's reading. The reading is called Expectancy. And Dr. Holmes says this: the creative power is always reacting to us as we act in it. It is always creating our bodies and in our affairs. Consequently, we should all learn to live in a state of joyous and enthusiastic expectancy. This is the principle upon which faith or the answer to prayer is based. Let me read those 2 sentences again. Consequently, we should all learn, well, we should if we want to live happy lives, we could all learn to live in a state of joyous and enthusiastic expectancy. This is the principle upon which faith or the answer to prayer is based. So the idea of being in that place of expectancy, regardless of what's going on, regardless of what's happened, regardless of what the diagnosis is, what the news is, whatever, to be in that expectancy that whatever we have planted in divine mind must come about. That's the law. That's the nature of the law. What we plant will become form. Well, some of us are dealing with things right now that we're saying, just a minute, I didn't plant this. I didn't plant it. I don't want it. It's not mine. And it may not be the exact thing that you're after. And it could be just that you're interpreting it wrongly. I've got a couple of examples. I had an interesting week. I love Starbucks. I might have mentioned that once or twice. And I was driving yesterday. Yesterday home from the center. I'd met with Amy and Sean that had a premarital counseling, my first and their first, and we did great. So first of all, acknowledge them for being my first premarital counseling. No one's ever asked me before, and I said, well, I can do that. So we had a really good long chat, and we'll have another long chat as we talk about the wedding. But anyway, I was going home, and I happened to look at my odometer, and I turned 66,666. Isn't that great? Yeah. See, that is so great because, the number of the goddess is 666. And the Christian fathers, the pagan, the early religions were so strong, they didn't want that to have a positive meaning. So they made it the mark of the devil. 666. So anyway, I was just about to take a picture of it, was going to pull over and take a picture, and it turned 7. I thought, well, the picture's in my mind. I don't need to have it. I just need to be reminded that other people's interpretation of anything doesn't have to be mine. Doesn't have to be mine. I can interpret my life however I want it, because it's my life. I can interpret anything so that I can see God there. That actually, I feel that's my job, to reframe everything so I see it through the eyes of the divine. I see it through the eyes of light. And I think it's my job to help you do the same thing, to see everything in your life as being part of your unfolding path of consciousness. Good and very good, better and better, always getting better and better. Because that is the nature of life. And it's the promise that we are here to live a life that is filled with abundance. And that means abundance in every way. So good, great health, great friendships, great experience of creativity, and of course, prosperity. Of course, prosperity. It means also that we're here, as I said in our meditation, that here we are in Mother Nature, And if we pay attention, we can learn. There's so much we can learn by watching without making wrong. Watching, gosh, we do need the rain. The earth is, I can just feel the gratitude in the dry hills for the rain. And so my little complaint about, well, it's kind of cold for Southern California. It's kind of cold. I have to wear my fancy dancy coat so that I can stay warm. No, it's great here all the time, including today, including when it's raining, including when it's windy, including when it's unexpected, the unexpectedness of our weather. It's just weather, neither good nor bad. It gives us a challenge to stay in that expectancy when things are not to our liking, when other people don't meet up to our standards of how they should be. And now I'm not just talking to the parents. I'm talking to everybody that most of us have, if not conscious, we have unconscious expectations about people, about how life should be, about how people should be. And even Dr. Holmes used that word, should. And I've been taught by my other teachers that we should never should on ourselves. That is the 11th commandment. Thou shalt not should on yourself. So, but just to notice what takes you out of that place of joyous expectancy. Last Sunday, Darren, I shared this at first service, but last Sunday, Darren and Lisa were sharing with me one of the things they're passionate about, of course, is their one-year-old daughter, who wouldn't be, and her health and safety. And because San Clemente is so close to San Onofre and the power plant, and because there's some sort of leakage there, there's concern about that radiation. And actually brought these wonderful visitors from Japan to talk about their experience of radiation and what kind of levels would be non-harming, etc. And the thing that they found out that was disturbing, and I'm going to give you an answer right now about how to handle it. The thing that they found out that was disturbing is that the government had told the people in, what's the city? Fukushima. In Fukushima, that if the radiation level was over 0.023, keep your children indoors, 0.023. And when they measured in the building that they were having the meeting in, it was 0.025. It was higher in San Clemente than it was in the unsafe areas in Japan. But here's the thing. The power plant is shut down right now. So Darren and the group of people that they were with did a vigil, and they lit candles and went down to the pier, right? And while they were going down, they were harassed by people. Said, "We want power. Get up, get your opinions out of here." Now, this church never tells you how to think, including about this. But we tell us how to use our thinking in a positive way. So here is what we need to do as religious scientists. You can join the protest if you want. That's fine with me. You can not join the protest. You can even say nasty things to the protesters. But here is the thing that we are called to do, is to use our minds correctly. And what is it that we do want? What we want is a safe world for our children and our children's children, even to the 7th generation, right? We want clean water, clean air, safety, wherever anyone is. Now, I personally don't know how to make that happen, but what I know is that just by saying it, I have activated a law that's dependable. The law of mind is dependable, and something is responding to this law when I say, I know our Southern California, let's not just say San Clemente, Southern California is a safe place to be. The beaches are safe. They're safe for swimming, for surfing, for fishing, for scuba diving, for every other water sport. They're safe to be on. They're safe because we decide. We hold the light up about goodness. And from that place, the rest of the story can unfold. But you see, if we just put our attention on the numbers, and it's tempting to do, but if you just put your attention on the numbers, it couldn't help but get worse. You have to let go of the numbers. You have to let go of what the facts have shown you at this moment and go to what you do want. And so all of us are going to join in that if you want. I'm certainly joining in it. Every time I think of that area, anything near the beach, anything. I live here too. I'm thinking about what a great place it is to live, not just the weather, but it's so safe to live here, and it's safe for 7 more generations. Our children's children, our babies are safe here. It always starts with an idea that you take into your heart and mind and accept as the truth, you see? Now we all have to embody that idea. Either that or you have to just go to sleep and forget I said anything. You know, the responsible thing to do if we're here to be stewards of the earth is to choose what we do want. And then to see that with our mind's eye whenever we're thinking. And it is to stop talking about, oh, God agrees. Stop talking about any negativity anywhere. We have to understand we're a unity, a oneness, that all life is connected. And that when we see from through God's eyes, then only good can occur. And that might sound Pollyanna, but I read this a long time ago. Pollyanna was really right. It was right to be Pollyanna. Because Pollyanna, there's more good than evil, ever. There's 80% more good that happens than the 20% negative. So Pollyanna is right. If you're going to make a mistake, err on the positive side. This or something better. Now, I found out just before service that, no, I want to tell you some things. Remember what I've told you many times and what Dr. Maxine told us last week. Angels can fly because they take themselves lightly. So what that means is we can't get heavy-minded or heavy-handed about anything. We have to take lightly. We have to bring a light consciousness. We have to breathe into, and any of the social action we're taking, we're not taking it out of anger or fear, but rather out of love. See, there's such a difference. Mother Teresa said, I will not join a protest against war, but I will march for peace, for peace. So it's the same thing. We say, what are we for? And we move in that direction. I'm coming back to something I heard before service, but before I get there, because I can feel this energy that I helped create, I was doing some research about that, when are you due, and one of the things that I found were some stories about pregnant women. So one of the stories I would like to share with you is a story about a woman she was very pregnant, 9.5 months pregnant, and she was in a car collision. And she was and she awoke from the coma, and she was no longer pregnant. It was the first thing, where's my baby? How's my baby? And the nurse came to her and she said, oh, your babies are fine. You had 2 babies, a boy and a girl. And she said, really? Oh, I can hardly wait to name them. And the nurse said, well, you were in a coma, so your brother, your only relative for you. And she said, my brother? Oh, no, he's dumber than a bag of hammers. On earth did he call my children? And the nurse said, well, your daughter is Denise. And she said, that's great. What did he call my son? The nephew? See, take ourselves lightly. Take ourselves lighten up. Okay, back to just before our service. Sandy was telling me that Barbara Marx Hubbard has named 2012, the year 2012, year of birth, right? The birth year, birth, and conception 2012 is March 22nd. So you're all to participate in the conception. And then the birth is December 22nd. So March 22nd, and you can make it as much fun as you want to. Your seeds of what you do want. Because imagine if all of the that are joining together in this idea, in any good idea, saying that this year we're not going to listen to doom and doom and gloom. We're not going to believe that this is the end of the world. Maybe it's the end of the consciousness of fear. Maybe it's the end of consciousness of lack. Maybe it's why not? If we're going to have the end of something, have a brand new something, it's a brand new better, right? A brand new better place, a brand new better world. Now, when are you due? When are you due? I know that for human gestation, the period is 9.5 months. I know for elephants, it's 22 months. But for ideas, it's when we embody them. And the time that you're due is right here, right now. So when are you due? Right now. So let's put your hand on your heart and think of something that you would like to create. And when I ask you the question, say right now. This dream that is gestating in you, when are you due?
Right now.
Say it again.
Right now.
And so it is.